In last week's BMX React video, checking out a Van Homan video part, I said I would be reacting to Erik Elstran's new Self-Strand video this week, so that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to be taking a look at Self-Strand for Real featuring Erik Elstran from Sunday Bikes. Came out last week. I wanted to give as much time as I could to just let it breathe before putting something like this out there, and now we're here. It got 17,000 views, and it says Erik Elstran brings us For Real, the fourth installment in his self-filmed Self-Strand series. This time featuring all rails. I love that. I love whenever people focus in on a singular aspect of something and then just get as creative as they possibly can with it, or do as many different types of things that are possible. I think limiting yourself enhances creativity, as weird and oxymoronish as that sounds. I don't even know if that's a word. Doesn't matter. Erik never ceases to amaze with his trick conceptualization and sky-high skill level. There's really nothing the man can't do. For real. Film an all handrail edit by yourself for real? Well, it sounded like a good idea at one point anyway. For Real is the fourth installment of the Self-Strand series, filmed in all 4 seasons on all kinds of rails. Erik Elstran. Video shot and edited by the man himself. So, without any further delay, let's get into watching Self-Strand For Real. Cruising in, we recognize this spot if we've seen lots of his videos. ET handlebar grind around a corner to a kink, down some stairs, to another kink, down some stairs. I mean, do you expect anything less? To another kink, down the stairs, pulling it. Man, that could not have been easy. Bump jump to rail. That's gnarly, to 180 over. Dude, that's sick too, like a hip jump. Downside Smith on a rail. See, using it creatively. Sprocket into the roller coaster. Jeez, hitting the front tire to double tire 180 out. Pegs up, nose jam backwards, crook 180. Jeez. Saying this is even hard. Damn. Up rail, pegs, 180 to ice bonk. Oh, downside ice bonk to oppo ice bonk on the rail. Roller coaster up. Oh, tire slide fakie grind down. That's crazy. Where's he going? Hopping up to get set up. Ooh, tooth hanger. Nose manual down the rail. Ooh, that was a rough one. X up on the out rail. Phoebes over Smith nose bonk. Phoebes 180 crank. Man, this is so crazy. Crook to something. I I feel like I have to watch it again just to get it all. So crank arm to double pit. I don't know. Roller coaster skipping the uprights. There's a roller coaster crook. Running man to rocket ice down a rail. Nuts. X up. Was that X up unlucky? We're going to have to watch that one later. Canadian to rail. Canadian foot jam on a stair to rail 180. Got the crank arm to 180. Now Ollie crook. Pegs. Ooh, tooth to cheese in the snow at that. Square rail. Ride. Gap into the street. That's far too. Did he pedal on that? Lateral hop to rail. I like it. In the snow, lateral hop to rail. Man, this is so good. X up, crook, crank 180. I think it's hard to say these things as fast as they happen. X up, crook to 180. That's crazy, man. Pegs, nothing. Pegs, nothing to 180. Hard 180, too. That was so good. Phoebes. It's a big kink rail. Phoebes over to rocket ice down the second stage. Over pegs on the kink. Damn. Hang nothing. Hang 10 grind down the rail. Big crank arm down the multi-kinker to pegs to tooth. So many tricks at the same time. Ice. Oh, is this the crash from Instagram? Yeah, that crash was ouch. Cut. For real? Reset back to one. Faster and more intense this time. Action. That's funny. The ice on the curb thing to over fakey pegs. Shoo. Not so. And that's a wrap, says the man himself. It's so crazy where Erik Elstran's riding has gone over the years. I mean, he has always been this super creative rider who was doing outside of the box stuff. Where I remember in one video with a kind of a similar setup to this, if I move here, this rail or this post here, in another video there was a setup where there was a rail, it was a flat rail, and then there was a post like that, but it had posts going out of it to the sides, and he grabbed it, spun around, did some crazy stuff, and then went down however he got out of it. But his history is just being super unique and creative in those ways, and now he's taking it in a direction where his past few videos have been like really, really insane technical writing while mixing in the creativity to the technicality of it. And it's crazy to see that like natural progression in his writing, and it's fun to watch as well, where you see, he's got the handlebar grind just pedaling the entire way to keep speed, but then he does a huge bump jump over to this, and I realized I should have made my face smaller, maybe here, there, smaller face. But doing that bump jump over to that rail right there is the next clip, shows just the skill aspect of things too. We all knew he was super skilled, and doing this up rail, hopping like a hip out, boosting nice and clean. Look at this boost. Boo. Downside Smith, like, we all know Erik Elstran's one of the best and can do anything he wants. Then you'd see him do some super technical stuff that's like, oh damn, I love it. This up rail nose jam back to fakey crook. I don't know which crook is regular or not, so I'm gonna have to say those wrong this entire time too. 180ing out. This was fun. Up rail, the 180, bonk down the other side. Then this one's crazy too. This is that creative in the skill, like just raw skill here. Being able to get your bike flat enough to hit that peg going down that loading dock, then hit the oppo peg, or no, that was oppo first, then regular bonk on the lower one. It's like, what world are we living in? It's Erik Elstran's world, that's what. Then the roller coaster up, sliding the tire back down, 180 and off. Then just the gnarliness of a second stage gap to hanger. Nose manual down a rail. Ooh, that was nuts. Just ice grind down, destruction of gnarly hitting. X up on the out rail part of this down rail to ice down in the snow. Let's add that in. Phoebes over Smith, the nose bonk down. Phoebes 180. What is he hitting there? I have to feel like you have to break this down like we're watching some kind of crazy sport, because you can't see it all at real time unless you watch it a million times. Feeble, the 180 crank thing. Tooth. What am I watching? So crook to bottom bracket 180, I think. I don't get it. It's insane. I've said that a million times. So that's crank arm, I think, over to crook to 360 out. We're not even halfway, and I'm just trying to break this down. This is fun. The crook roller coaster where he's got to bring his front tire in and out because of these uprights, then barring out. Running Man to rocket ice. Whatever. I'm running out of adjectives. That is an X up unlucky down a rail. Unreal. For real? For real? Then the Canadian foot jam on the top stair of a 3 stair with this short rail beside it that he's able to go to double peg hard 180 out of. It just doesn't make sense. Crank arm 180, more like a 270 with how far you have to go. Nollie, crook. Is that over crook? I don't know. No, I don't think that's over crook. The back peg might have to go over for it to be over, but I could be wrong. Pegs down, tooth down to ice or crook. Jesus. So many combos. The big gap to the street, lateral rail, then another lateral rail, this time on a frozen ledge in the snow. The X up, crook, crank, 180. I think I called that in real time. Not totally horrible with this. X up, crook, using the opposite side to 180 out. Wow. The nothing. That's got to be like the thumbnail, right? I don't know. We'll see. Probably zoom in on that and make that the thumbnail. Then you got huge feeble grind on the kinker over. This one was mind-blowing too. Over pegs to rocket ice down the last stage. This is the thumbnail. Duh. What even is this, a hang 10 toothpick grind down a real rail? How do you even get yourself to try that? Then the crank arm to pegs to tooth hanger down the last stage. Followed by this fun skit with the director chair and a crazy ice over fakie pegs to fakie. Erik Elstran, once again, you have done it, and just wow. What else do I say? You guys watch this video. I hope you enjoyed this react. Go watch the actual video with the music. It's linked down below. He did a fantastic job, and I would say at this point, Erik Elstran might be giving Dan Foley a run for his money in terms of who self-films the best in BMX. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what I should react to next, and I don't know how he's going to top it, but I'm sure he's going to top it. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow.